how rapper Young Dolph secretly bought his city and lifted up his community.
The 36-year-old rapper grew up here in Memphis. This is his home, and he had a lot of love for the city and for the people here.
He is known for giving back to his community here in Memphis. Every year, he gave out turkeys for Thanksgiving through Memphis Athletic Ministry.
Picture this. You grow up in chaos. Your parents are lost to addiction and you're sleeping on floors, never knowing if the place you're staying tonight will be there tomorrow. That feeling of having no foundation, no home to call your own burns itself into your soul. That was the real-life story of Young Dolph. He came from the streets of South Memphis, a kid forced to become a man just to survive. But he never lost that feeling of instability. So when he made it, he didn't just buy himself a mansion. He started a secret decade-long mission. He quietly bought over 100 properties throughout Memphis. Now, this wasn't just a side hustle. It was the foundation of a much larger war. By reclaiming a piece of his city, he built a silent wall of local ownership against the outside investors trying to buy up the block. But that was just the beginning. His real mission was to flood those same streets with direct life-changing support, putting cash, homes, and careers right into the hands of his people, and to do it all 100% independently, turning his own life into the ultimate blueprint. This is the story of how a kid with no home dedicated his life to rebuilding his entire community. To understand Dolph's relentless drive, you have to understand the pain he was born into. He grew up in the Castelia Heights neighborhood of South Memphis during the height of the crack epidemic. And that epidemic wasn't just a news story. It was in his living room.
Mama's side of the family, folks f***ed up like that crack era, crack epidemic, you know what I mean? Cocaine and alcohol, that shit wiped my family out. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was on us, like the young niggas, me and my cousins, like to switch that shit up. Like,
with his parents battling addiction, Dolph and his 4 siblings were raised by his grandmother, Ida Mae. The chaos was the norm. His father, in his own words, was living in motels, paying week by week. Poverty was a sharp, constant feeling. The moment that lit a fire in his soul came when he was just a boy, and the reality of his family's situation became brutally clear.
It was around somebody's birthday or a holiday or something. I just heard my dad say, well, we ain't going over there. Like, I ain't got no money or shit. We poor. I ain't buying no, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was like, that shit just hit me somewhere like, I like, damn, we fucked up like that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, everything just started right then and there. Now.
That feeling of shame ignited a lifelong obsession with independence. While other kids wanted toys, Dolph wanted security. He was forced to become an adult before he was even a teenager, taking on responsibilities that no child should have to bear. And the problem wasn't just poverty. It was a system designed for failure. The stakes weren't just about his future. They were about survival in a world that dealt him the worst possible hand. He was trapped in a cycle of instability. And he realized at a young age that he was the only one who could break it. That realization forced Dolph to grow up fast. While other kids were playing, he was plotting. His mission to break the cycle didn't start in a boardroom. It started on the streets of his neighborhood, born from pure desperation. His first battlefield was a war with himself. He started hustling, teaching himself to cut hair at 13 because, as he said, I couldn't be a little kid. But that hustle led him to the streets. It was a path that came with a heavy price. The deepest wound came with his moral compass. His grandmother, Ida Mae, discovered his double life.
I turn around, grandma right there. I'm trying to stuff all this shit in my pants, but I got on shorts, and this shit hit straight to the floor. She the only person I really ever cared about what she say, what she think about me, just any and everything, you know what I mean? This shit just made me cry, you know what I'm saying? Cause my grandma seeing this shit like, I'm like, man.
That moment of shame was a catalyst, but the struggle for legitimacy was a grueling uphill battle. He turned to music, but was met with a wall of indifference. His business partner, Daddy-O, tells the story of the humiliating early grind.
When it first started, people throwing the CDs on the ground and shit. But still being like, man, they throwing the CDs on the ground. I'm like, shit. What time the club closed at? Was it 3? Go back at 4 or 5 and pick the CD back up and pass them out tomorrow.
Imagine that. Picking your own dreams off the dirty parking lot of a club. That was the reality. And just as he was finding his footing, tragedy struck. On March 5th, 2008, his anchor, Ida Mae, passed away from lung cancer. The loss was devastating. But as Dolph later said, it put a new battery in his back. Success became the only option. Fueled by grief and a new sense of urgency, he poured every dollar he had into himself, releasing local classics like Welcome to Dolph World in 2010, and paying $10,000 just to open for OJ the Juice Man. By the mid-2010s, his independent grind had paid off. He had built his paper route empire, achieved Billboard success, and crowned himself the king of Memphis.
He is the self-proclaimed king of Memphis. In fact, that's the name of his 2016 studio debut album.
But in Memphis, a crown makes you a target. His refusal to bow to the local establishment made him a target. On February 25th, 2017, his bulletproof SUV was shot over 100 times in Charlotte. He walked away without a scratch and performed that same night. Then, in September 2017, his luck almost ran out. He was ambushed and shot multiple times in Hollywood.
What is you, a mutant, man? You Wolverine? You got healing powers or something? Like you just...
No, I'm Dolph.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something I can't explain, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't got no control of it. You know what I mean? I'm Dolph.
The struggle wasn't just a business problem. It was a literal life and death war for survival. How does a man survive all that and still come out on top? He does it with the secret weapon that no one can take away, the code his grandmother gave him.
The person that gave me all my game is my grandma. The reason why I'm rich is because of my grandma. The reason why I'm on top of game is because of my grandma. The reason why I don't trust nobody is because of my grandma.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm private and keep shit separate is like my business and family is because of my grandma.
That code of radical independence was his secret weapon. The real breakthrough came when he realized his relentless grind was building something no record label could manufacture, an organic cult-like fan base. The same people who once threw his CDs on the ground were now fans for life. He saw the success of Lil Boosie and realized that a real street connection was more powerful than any radio hit. And with that decision, the Paper Route Empire machine was born. The first breakthrough wasn't a hit single. It was the realization that he could build his own machine on his own terms. With his organic fan base and his PRE machine in place, Dolph had all the leverage. And that led him to the moment that would make him a legend in the independent world, the offer. In 2018, he was offered a $22 million record deal, and he turned it down. To outsiders, it was insanity. But to Dolph, it was the only logical move.
You got people that come in this game with money, but that shit don't mean nothing. You got people that come in this game with talent, but that shit don't mean nothing. But the game done ran to the wrong nigga. You got talent, you got a nigga that's smart, and you got the young nigga with a team. So the game got trouble, the game got hell.
It wasn't just pride. It was a calculated business decision. He knew something the labels didn't. As he later explained, he had just signed the next wave of artists to PRE, including Key Glock, and he knew the value of his empire was about to explode.
This ain't that, this little dude got that hot song on the internet type shit, and if you don't hear him take advantage of your time, it's gonna be gone type shit.
Right.
Bro, this a whole machine over here, bro.
Right.
Do they know I just signed this artist, that artist, and this artist? They don't know that.
No.
So guess what's finna happen? They finna see.
He wasn't selling before the boom. While he was turning down paper from the labels, he was quietly stacking paper and property. As filmmaker Tim Jackson revealed, Dolph secretly built an empire of over 100 rental properties in Memphis. This was the physical foundation of his mission to rebuild his community, and it was the engine for his ultimate legacy plan. One foreclosure house for every one of his children's birthdays. Dolph's mission to flood Memphis with opportunity wasn't just a concept. It was a series of direct, tangible actions that became legendary, and it was all based on one simple, painful memory.
I just be thinking to myself, like, do some shit you ain't never did. I mean, do some shit for somebody that never did shit for you.
And he did, over and over again. In 2018, when two baristas at Duke University were fired just for playing the song Get Paid, he didn't just tweet about it, he took it personally.
2 people got fired from the store.
They were just playing the music.
They were playing Get Paid. It's just like when I heard about it, I just felt like shit, they got fired playing my shit. It's like I got to see about them. I got to fuck with them.
So he flew him out to a show at Rolling Loud, brought him on stage and gave him $20,000 in cash. As one writer for Pitchfork noted, this wasn't a stunt. It was a sign of respect and admiration from one hard worker to another. He gave his own custom orange Lamborghini to a fan, a young mother, who then sold the car to buy a house for her family. In 2019, knowing the pain of addiction that had ravaged his own family, Dolph held a Mother's Day brunch for victims of domestic abuse and women struggling with addiction and mental health issues, wanting to provide a day of joy for those facing the same demons his parents had. He poured money into the next generation, donating $25,000 to his old high school, Hamilton High, for new sports equipment. During a visit, he spoke directly to the students who were sitting in the same seats he once did. And days before his death, cameras captured the true essence of his mission. He was at the West Cancer Center, the same place his grandmother, uncle, and aunt had battled cancer. Not for a photo op, but to personally thank the staff.
My aunt, she's currently here. Like, she has cancer. My grandmother had cancer. My uncle had cancer. And they all came through these doors. I just wanted to show up and just really thank them for what they do.
This was the proof. This was the impact. It wasn't about one grand gesture. It was about hundreds of personal moments that showed a city he never forgot where he came from. What Young Dolph left behind wasn't just a catalog of music. It was a blueprint for total independence. He was the modern embodiment of the lineage of Southern pioneers like Master P and Cash Money. His blueprint was a mentality, the Dolph blueprint.
Stay in control. You're not in control, you're out of control. I live by that. You know what I mean? Nothing in this world stays the same forever. Everything happened for a reason. With that being said, like in so many words, Be true to yourself.
Dolph eventually signed with Empire Records, a deal that allowed him to retain ownership of his masters, ensuring that all future revenue from his music would go directly to him, and by extension his family. This was the masterstroke that secured his family's future. Invest in yourself, pay your own way, build your own machine, know your future value, and have the patience to wait for it. Empower your team to surpass you. His mission for Key Glock was the ultimate goal of a true leader.
You got to be colder than me. You know what I mean? You got to be colder than me. You got to have more than me. It's like all that shit. If you ain't, I'm mad.
Build a legacy for those you love, and do it in silence. He wasn't making music for the radio. He was making it for the kid he used to be. On November 17th, 2021, Young Dolph was in Memphis for his annual Thanksgiving turkey giveaway. He made a stop at Makita's Cookies, a local black-owned bakery he loved. In the middle of that very mission of giving back, his life was cut short by 22 bullets. The tragedy of his death could have been the end of the story, but Dolph's empire was built different. It was built to be bulletproof. 2 days later, while a city mourned, the trucks from Paper Route Empire pulled up to a South Memphis church. The turkey giveaway went on. His team, the empire he built, refused to let his mission die with him. And in that one act, they proved Young Dolph's final lesson. His legacy isn't just in the 100-plus properties he left for his children. It's not just in the street that now bears his name. His true legacy is the mentality he instilled. Stay in control, be independent, and never forget to do for somebody what you wish someone would have done for you. If this is the kind of blueprint you believe in, and you want to be part of a community that celebrates the real hustlers changing the game, do 2 things for us. Hit that like button and subscribe to Hustlers in the Hood. See y'all in the next one. Peace.